If you're on the lookout for a new eSignature platform in 2024, I've created this comparison between Docusign, PandaDoc, and SignWell so that you can make an informed decision depending on what use case you're trying to automate with e-signatures. It's very confusing. There's an e-signature platform popping up every 2 seconds, and even for us e-signature consultants and specialists, it's difficult sometimes to remember what product does what, and that's exactly the purpose of this video. So we're going to compare feature set, price point, as well as ease of use, and we're going to start right now. Now, the first thing that you want to do when you're comparing e-signature products is what sorts of templates are being supported. Because the last thing that you want to do is to have to upload your document and drag and drop your fields to indicate to your signers where they need to act on the document each time you want to send one. You want to set up templates so that you can reuse those document workflows each time you need to send a document to collect a signature or to collect data or both from your signers. And so that's the first thing that I'm going to compare, because everything starts from here. So depending on the document type that you want to collect signatures and or data on, your document is going to look more or less like this, which is a form type, or more or less like this, which is Word document type, where the variable contains data that changes from document to document. And so it's very important that you understand the difference between dynamic and static, because those template types are not supported by all e-signature platforms. Docusign, for example, can help you set up a template for both. However, PandaDoc, you can technically set up a dynamic document template inside of PandaDoc, but you have to use their web editor to work with the document. So for example, in here, if I go to my document and I have my templates, I'm going to be able to place variables inside my document, and that's going to look very nice. So I can just say here client name. And so this becomes a variable which, when filled out, gets replaced by the actual value. And so that makes your document look very polished, very nice. Docusign does support both. However, SignWell does not support it. And so if you try to set up your dynamic documents with SignWell, this is what they are going to look like, okay? So I'm not saying that SignWell is not a good product, but not for dynamic documents. At least if you want to automate the workflow and reuse templates, you're not going to be able to do that with SignWell. So that's the first thing that you want to do. Now, if you're collecting data or signatures on documents that look just like this, then SignWell is not going to be an issue at all. The next thing that you want to consider are validation rules. So validation rules help you, the sender of the document, ensure that your signers are not going to provide you with incorrect information when you collect more than just signatures. For example, in this document, we are collecting a bunch of information about, I don't know, a claimant. And so we want to make sure that the person who's going to fill this out actually gives us information in the format that we want. And so in Docusign, we can easily create a validation rule where we can use social security number, email, number, letters, date, and zip. And if the validation rule that we want to set up isn't already predefined, we can use a custom validation. For example, if we want to capture an EIN, but it's the business registration number, which has 2 numbers followed by a hyphen or dash, and then 7 other numbers. That's not a predefined validation rule, but we can use a custom regex pattern, which, don't worry, if you don't know how to code, you can just use ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, give me a regex pattern for an EIN, and you can just paste it here, and then your signers are not going to be able to make a mistake when filling out the document. The same thing is true for PandaDoc. So here I've got a field, and if I go to my settings, I can actually enter a validation rule, which is custom, or one of the other validation rules that are predefined. When it comes to SignWell, they do have some validation rules, but they don't have customs. So that's not great for data capture. The next thing that you want to check is whether the e-signature platform supports conditional logic. Conditional logic will also help ensure that your signers provide you with the information that you need in the right location. So for example, here, if signers choose option A, they have to enter information in this field. But if they choose option B, this field will not even be shown to them. If you don't have that, you have to make all your fields optional, which means that your signers may go through the document without providing you the information that's needed. But in this case here, we can set up a rule that says that this field is required, but can see that the document is hashed. And that's because it's only required if this field is selected. But if the field is not selected, that field will be invisible. And you can also do this in PandaDoc. So here I have a set of 3 options, and I'm able to go to the edit rule, add conditional rules, and select which of my A, B, or C option is going to trigger which field on my document. So that's really good for SignWell, for PandaDoc and Docusign. SignWell, however, doesn't have conditional logic. So the only thing that we can do is to enforce a validation rule or leave our fields optional, which is not great if you want to collect data from your signers and if there are multiple conditional paths that your signers could take on the document. If you're wondering who I am, my name is Sofiane Saoudi. I'm the founder of Docusign Consulting. I was previously with Docusign as an implementation consultant, but at Docusign, we help organizations implement Docusign and other e-signature platforms by setting up your templates, integrations, and as well as training your users so that you can adopt e-signature and save time right away. If this is something that you are interested in, you can schedule a free document workflow consultation where we will assess your unique workflow and recommend the right e-signature product and setup for your specific use case. The next thing you want to consider is whether you need to calculate amount or calculate date automatically in your documents. For example, these templates here can calculate the number of days in the current month, depending on the sign date, and can also calculate the pro rata that someone would have to pay depending on that date. So for example, this template is used at a retirement home, and depending when the resident enters their home, the template will calculate the amount that's going to be due for that first month and a bunch of other things. And so that's something that's super handy because you don't need to calculate this by hand before you're sending the document. In PandaDoc, you can't do automated calculations unless you're using a pricing table. That would not work for most use cases. That would only be useful for sales use cases. And SignWell doesn't have formula fields either at this stage, at least. The next thing that we want to look at are built-in automations. Docusign doesn't do really well on built-in automations. They only have a bunch of automations built in that allow you to store the documents somewhere once it's been signed. But that's not very helpful because before the documents can be signed and stored, well, it needs to be created. You can connect your Docusign account to your CRM because a lot of CRMs do offer an integration between Docusign and their product. However, the integration in most cases, except for Salesforce and Microsoft, don't allow you to connect your CRM data to a template, which means you're bound to have to drag and drop your fields and set up all the logic each time. With PandaDoc, however, you can connect a bunch of different CRMs. They have integrations with Zoho CRM, HubSpot, Salesforce, everything that you can think of, they have it. And so this is really powerful because you can connect your product list inside of all your opportunity inside of your Pipedrive or your Salesforce or your HubSpot. And then that information will feed inside your PandaDoc template. And this is how you can actually automate your workflows. And once the document have been signed, then you can also automate the automated retrieval of the PandaDoc document back inside of the CRM on Google Drive or in OneDrive or something like this. PandaDoc does have really strong integrations. Docusign and PandaDoc also do have a Zapier integration, which means you can connect their app to any other product or platform out there. Now, there's one thing that only PandaDoc has, and it's the interactive pricing table. I really like this. You can set up your pricing table in a way that your signers can easily interact with the quantity and they can add more product themselves and choose different products. So if your use case is all about sales, then I really recommend PandaDoc for that use case. In Docusign, you can achieve the same thing, but it's going to take forever to build the logic and build that table. And the table is not going to be really dynamic. Now, if your use case is sales and you do need to collect payments just after the signature and you want to collect payment by card or by ACH, then I really recommend that you go with an eSign platform that accepts payment online through Stripe, PayPal, Authorize.net, or even QuickBooks. And so that's something that I really like about PandaDoc and Docusign. So in Docusign, you can drag and drop a payment field. And so that payment field can be connected to a payment gateway. And I haven't done it here in this specific account, but we can have a bunch of different payment processors. And in PandaDoc, you can do exactly the same thing. And I know that they also accept QuickBooks payment, which is something that is not supported in Docusign. However, if you do want to use Stripe, I know that Docusign works better because you can set up different kind of payments, and SignWell doesn't accept payment at this time. Now let's talk about ease of use. Docusign, SignWell, and PandaDoc, for me, are all as difficult or as easy or as complex to use. It's all about using it and learning how to use the product so that once you've used it, you know where to find all the buttons and all the things. I'm completely biased. We've been building Docusign templates and integrations since 2019, so I could use Docusign my eyes closed. When it came to PandaDoc, for the purposes of recording this video, we don't specialize in PandaDoc, so I had to learn my way around, and I spent a few hours just trying to understand where everything was. Same thing for SignWell. The first time we used it, I was confused. But after a few hours, now I know exactly how the product works. So I don't believe that there are significant differences between those three products in terms of ease of use. But when it comes to the signer's experience, then it's a different story, because with Docusign, you can have mobile, responsive signing experiences. The document that I'm showing you now has the size of an iPhone screen, a smartphone screen. And in Docusign, as you can see, the boxes where you would enter information have been resized to fit the size of the actual device where the user is using to look at the document. But if I turn off mobile responsive signing, this is what the document would look like if mobile responsive wasn't turned on. And so the same thing would be true for PandaDoc and for SignWell. So I do find that in terms of user experience, Docusign is much better. They also have something called web forms, which act as actually I can show you what a web form looks like. So let's just say that you have this document here, which definitely wouldn't easily be rendered on a small device. Well, Docusign has web forms, and so the web form will transform the look and feel of this complex document here into a very simplified user interface where only the form fields are shown, and this adapts completely to the signer's device. And then once all the data has been entered, then signers can still see and read the full document. So we're not hiding the document, they're just showing this pre-signature form before the document is shown to signers. So I do believe that from a signer's perspective, Docusign is much easier to use. Now, Docusign also has a mobile app which can help you sign documents very quickly and send the documents to signers using one of the templates. I find it not that useful because you cannot pre-fill the form fields of your template by typing in them. And so I just feel like there's not much point being able to send documents if we cannot customize them the way that we want. PandaDoc do have a mobile app, so maybe it's worth checking. I encourage you to tell me in the comments if you've already used the mobile app. SignWell surprisingly has a really powerful mobile app because you can upload the document, you can take a picture of it, and you can drag and drop the fields wherever they need to go on the document with your fingers, exactly the way that I'm doing it now with my mouse. And so I was very surprised that they have such an advanced mobile app, and it does actually work really well. Now, the next thing that's very important to consider, whatever software you're going to buy, not just eSignature, is support, the level of support you're going to get. With SignWell, each time I had an issue, I just clicked on a little bubble here at the bottom right and started asking my questions. With PandaDoc, I just had to wait 1 to 2 hours, not more. It was great. With PandaDoc, you don't get the chat, but you can email them and they will reply fairly quickly. I think I got an answer within 1 to 2 hours, so pretty similar to SignWell. With Docusign, when it comes to support, however, it's a different story. If you're on a very high paying plan, so if you're on an enterprise plan, within an hour or two, they're going to reply to you. They will schedule a screen share session with you as well, so that's great. But if you're not on one of those higher paid plans, the support is not great. Unfortunately, some of the agents are not really well trained, and they just give you canned responses, and it's a little bit frustrating. And finally, let's talk about pricing. With SignWell, you're clearly not going to break the bank because you can get unlimited document sends for $8 per month. Now, if you want validation in your data, and you want to be able to request attachments from your signers, and you want your signers to be able to sign in person without you having to send them the documents for signature, you're going to have to go with the $24 a month, which is still nothing compared to Docusign or PandaDoc for unlimited documents. Now, this is just for documents sent from the web interface. If you want to send documents from a CRM or using Zapier or an API, you're going to have to go with an API plan, but it's still not expensive at all. Let's just say that you do, I don't know, 400 documents a month. No, that might be a little bit too much, but someone who's doing like 50 documents a month, that's only going to be like $20 per month, which is honestly nothing. If you compare that with Docusign, it is nothing. If you go with PandaDoc, it's unlimited documents for $19 a month, which is really nice. And that's only manual documents. So same thing as for SignWell. If you want to send from your CRM using an integration, that's not going to work. So for $49 a month, you can send unlimited documents from the platform. And you also have the ability to send the documents from the CRM, but those will be charged separately. And From what I've seen, they cost anywhere between $1 to $3 per document. Now, when it comes to Docusign pricing, things are much more complicated. And so I will do a separate video on Docusign pricing to go over all these functionalities, because otherwise the video will be very long. But what you need to know is that Docusign IAM plan comes with automated manual envelopes. So same thing as for SignWell and PandaDoc, you can log into the website and have access to unlimited envelopes sent manually by you from the website. But if you want automated envelopes, it's a different story. You're going to have to pay extra for that, and that's about $5 per envelope for every additional envelope that you're going to send. I am guessing that Docusign is going to try to push for the professional license, because this is what includes Maestro, which is the multi-step workflow builder they've just released. And they also have the bulk send, the payment collection to collect payments from your signers at the time of signing, as well as the web forms, and the ability to send your envelopes by SMS or WhatsApp. And with eSignature plans, you only get 100 envelopes per year per user. So it's very different. This is more expensive than IAM and other products. I am guessing that Docusign is going to retire those plans soon, because they don't seem that attractive to me anymore if we compare them with what competitors are charging. But most people will need to be on Business Pro, because this is how you get access to mobile responsive forms, the payment collection during signing, bulk sending, formula fields, validation, conditional logic. If you're just collecting signatures and not data, you might be able to get away with the standard plan. But again, that's only 100 envelopes per year, so I don't know if that's going to be enough for you. And then the personal, I've never had a client use this, because this is just 5 envelopes per month, but that might be enough if you're just sending documents. I don't know, you own maybe a building, or you own a couple rental properties and you want to send lease agreements to your renters once a year. That might be enough for you. I don't know. In summary, if you're just collecting signatures and not data, you could go with SignWell, because it's very cheap, it's simple to use, and support is great. But if you have more complex documents where you want to capture data, then I really recommend you consider PandaDoc or Docusign. The main difference between Docusign and PandaDoc is that PandaDoc does not support overlay templates. So if you really want to create your document in Word and upload that document inside of PandaDoc, you're not going to be able to leverage templates, and it's going to be a nightmare. But if you're happy to use the PandaDoc-based templates where you can create a document directly in PandaDoc, then PandaDoc is great, particularly if your use case is about sales. If it's sales, you have the pricing table, which is interactive with the signer. You can process payments. You have integrations with your CRM. I think this is an excellent product for sales use cases. And I think I'm going to make a video on that just in the next coming weeks, because I was actually impressed while testing the product. The only thing I really don't like about PandaDoc is the fact that documents are not mobile responsive. From a user experience, it's not that great. Now, Docusign. Docusign is the best e-signature platform, simply because they started in 2003. They created the industry. They know exactly what they're doing. The product has never had any downtime, which is very, very rare in SaaS platforms. The product can work with any use case, even the most complex, but it is more expensive. But you can do so much more with Docusign. You now have Docusign Maestro, Docusign AI. It is worth the price if you're going to use those functionalities. But if you have much more simple needs, where you just need to collect a signature every now and then maybe SignWell is fine, or PandaDoc if you want to automate sales proposals with your CRM. But now I want to know, which of those 3 do you think is best, and which one are you going with? Just tell me in the comments down below. In the next video, I will be reviewing the Docusign plans in much more detail than I have in this video. So if you're considering going with Docusign, you might want to watch it next. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.